Good morning. I'm here at the Lawn Lake Trailhead, and this is located inside Rocky Mountain National Park. And as you can see, there's a deer right here by the trailhead sign. And today, I'm gonna go for Bighorn Mountain, looking at roughly 4 miles out with just under a 3,000 foot vertical elevation gain. Official start time, 6:05. Well, it looks like they've gotten rid of that sign that tells people not to fall off the edge. Yep, it used to be right here. And that's looking down onto the roaring river. And it has taken me 40 minutes to get out here to the Ypsilon Lake trail split. I'm gonna continue on past the trail split and stay on the Lawn Lake Trail for probably another 1.5 miles or so. I gotta take it up past the campsites, and there's a big switchback in the middle of the trail. And once I make it to the top of that switchback, that's where I'm gonna split off and start heading up the side of Bighorn Mountain. And that's where the hike is gonna get hard. And in 1 hour and 18 minutes or so, I've made it up to the campsites. Fantastic. I'm getting pretty close to where I need to split off up here. And in 1 hour and 38 minutes, I've made it up here to where I'm gonna split off the trail. Right here at just over 9,800 by this big rock and this little line of rocks right here. And this is where I'm gonna head up. I've already got this previously routed on my GPS because I've come down this way once before when I did it a couple years ago. However, I've never gone up this way. Last time I did it, I came over from Tileston Mountain and then I came down through here. But I just remember it was real nice and I didn't have too many problems. All right, and let's get wacky. And from down here at the base of the bushwhack, I'm looking at roughly 1,600 plus vertical feet in about 7/10 of a mile. It's extremely steep back here, but so far it's doable. The trees aren't that dense. I'm up at about 10,200, so I've got over 1,200 left. And I finally made it back over to my previous route. Little by little, I'm knocking this out. Oh, geez. I'm getting up there, guys. Slowly but surely. I'm just under 10,400. So that means I've got a little over 1,000 left. I just hit a real rocky section here, so this shouldn't be too bad, but it is steep. I'm taking a quick 5-minute little break up here at about 10,450. So I've only got about 1,000 vertical feet left. But wow, what a beautiful day. Look at that sky. All right, I've stashed the poles and I'm ready to knock out this last 1,000 vertical feet. My pace is starting to slow down a little bit, but this is probably one of the steepest parts. That's looking over at Mummy Mountain, looking huge. And I'm going up these rocks right now. Now, this is pretty serious. I've just come up and over 10,900, so that's good. I think I'm looking at maybe 500 more up to the summit. It's starting to look better the higher I go. I'm sitting up here at 11,150 or so, which means I've got roughly 300 vertical feet left in maybe a quarter of a mile. But yeah, the summit's just right behind me. I've made it up to probably the easiest part of this bushwhack. The only thing I have to worry about right now is the wind. All right, let's knock out these last 300 vertical feet. It's about 9:10 right now. My goal was to be up there by 9:30, and I think I can make it. This last part is a grind. Man. And check out these views from the summit of Bighorn Mountain. Unbelievable. That's looking over in the direction of Estes Park. You can see Lake Estes. Beautiful views from the summit of Bighorn Mountain. Wow. This is pretty prominent. You can see a lot of peaks from up here. Oh, nice. Hey, we've got a register up here. Yep. I'm gonna be hitting that with a card. This is gonna be my spot right here under the summit where I'm out of the wind. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with a card. If I can. Come on. Boom. I've been looking at the GPS and it looks like I ascended the mountain in one of the steepest areas possible. So I'm thinking about trying something different on the way back. And it looks like there is a little ridge that goes straight out to the west. And I might try and go down that. I've been sitting up here on the summit for a few minutes, just enjoying this beautiful day. But I'm thinking about walking out here to this high point and seeing what I can see to the south. I should get some really good views in that direction. Already starting to get some better views. Awesome. Getting slightly better views of Dark Mountain, the Needles, McGregor Mountain, Estes Park, and then if I pan over here, you can see the southern side of Bighorn Mountain, and also Deer Mountain and Twin Sisters. And then of course you start getting into Meeker, Longs, Pagoda, Chief's Head, and all the rest of the mountains there in Rocky Mountain National Park. You get awesome views of the Mummy Mountains from this summit. That's looking over at Sundance Mountain, Chapin, Chiquita, and Ypsilon. And then if I pan more to the right, this is going to be looking back towards the summit. And the mountains in the background are Fairchild, Heggs, and Mummy. All right, guys, it's about 10:15, and I've been sitting up here on Bighorn Mountain for just under an hour, but the wind is starting to pick up, so it is time to go. It's time to head on back. And I'm gonna avoid going down the way that I came up, where you aim at Fairchild Mountain the whole time. Instead, I'm gonna try and get on this ridge that sticks off to the west and take that all the way down. And I'm hoping that coming down this way isn't a huge mistake, because the way that I came up was pretty good. I mean, it was steep as heck, but it was pretty clear for the most part. I'm just hoping that going down this way isn't all choked with down trees. This mountain keeps pulling me to the south. It's getting me off that ridge. But that's okay. As long as we're going downhill, we're going in the right direction. Yeah, it's pretty steep. going down this direction, just like the other way, except it's not so rocky. Yeah, this is getting worse. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's bad, but it's definitely getting worse. Ow! The nasticity is increasing. You're like, that's not a real word. It is now. But yeah, I mean, this isn't bad. I've done way worse. But it's definitely not getting any better. Yeah, this is like the worst part right here. I'm starting to regret going this way. This is much harder. I mean, it's gonna drop me off way further down the Lawn Lake Trail than the other route, but this is way worse. This bushwhack sucks. Plus it's a lot longer. And since I'm meeting up with the Lawn Lake Trailhead further down, I gotta drop it like an additional 500 feet through here. Yep, I should have just went back the way that I came. See, I didn't have to deal with anything like this coming up from the other direction. This is atrocious through here. Knee just went out. Well, I think I just popped it back in. It's looking a little better the lower I go, but I've still got quite a ways. I'm looking at a 700-foot drop in about 4/10 of a mile. Oh, heck yes. Give me this kind of terrain the rest of the way down to the trail. Oh, that would be fantastic. I think I can still salvage this. If it stays like this the rest of the way down to the trail, I think that's gonna be pretty good, because I'm gonna be dropping in like just north of the Ypsilon Lake Trail split. That's how far down the trail I'm gonna be. Yeah, I cut off a huge chunk. Huge. And that's looking back up at where I've come from. And this is getting nasty right here towards the bottom again. Man, it's like super congested. This just turned to straight vegetation down here. So much green. Oh, this is disgusting through here. And what is going on here at the very bottom? My goodness. I'm like swimming over bushes. And now I've got these chalk stones. I'm climbing up right through here. All right, guys. And I'm back on the trail. It's just now 11:45. So that took an hour and a half to come down that way. And I would not recommend it. I'm dropping in right here at 9,300. I'm only like 2/10 of a mile away from the Ypsilon Lake split. That's how far down the trail I am right now compared to where I split off. Yeah, I'm just guessing, but I think that's another 1.5 miles up the trail. I'm so glad to be back down on this trail. Yeah, this is nice. I mean, that was some legit bushwhacking on the way down. I was fighting through all different types of terrain. Yeah, that was pretty serious. I would not recommend going up that way at all. I would not recommend coming down that way. My advice would be to stay on the trail, take it up to 9,800, and then split off way up there. I'm glad I wore my bushwhackers today, because that was a nasty hike. I'm pretty sure I put a few new holes in my pants, AKA the tick flicker knickers. Wow, that didn't even take 5 minutes to make it back down to the Ypsilon Lake Trail split. Oh my goodness, this is way down there. I think it only took me like 45 minutes or something to get up to that this morning. So yeah, I'm making good time. All right, and I'm back. Lawn Lake Trailhead. It's just now 12:50, so that took a little over 2.5 hours to get down. But I had stopped and talked to a few people. Shout out to John. This is the third time that I've ran into John out here. Saw him at Twin Sisters, Sky Pond, and now on the Lawn Lake Trail. And then also shout out to Doreen. And we ended up walking down the last part of the hike together, walking and talking. Mileage wise, I think I've got 3.4 for the descent. So the ascent had to be over 4, maybe 4.5. Yeah, it was a lot longer. Looking at 3 hours and 15 minutes up, 2 hours and 35 minutes down. I'm so glad to be sitting down right now. But I hope you enjoyed that hike. And until the next one, y'all, peace.